while you're setting up the desk, and we've done quite a lot of settings here, we've made some connections and we've assigned channels to fader strips. It's a good idea to keep saving your updates regularly. So if we go back and look at how to do that, there are two different ways we can deal with data in the system. We can deal only with productions and just have one version of a setup, and I can update all my settings that I'm doing into the new show here just by doing a right click and selecting update, or there's a dedicated production update button at the top of the center section. That's fine if you just want one starting point, but sometimes you might want to have different setups. You might have different versions of a mix in a music show, or you might have different setups for a show depending on different users who are coming in to work on the console. So in that case, it's a good idea to use snapshots. So within each production file, the production can save many snapshots, and they are organised in the snapshot list. So I've brought up the snapshot list here. I can create folders, and within each folder we can save multiple snapshots. So if I want to save what I'm doing here, the easiest way is just click on Save. That gives the snapshot a default name, and a date and a timestamp. It also gives me some information about the snapshot. So we can see here the channel type we're using is recording channels. I can also, there's a memo field here if I want to type in any notes. So those are all features you can use if you wish. If you want to rename the snapshot, then you'd click in the snapshot field and use the keyboard as we did earlier. The most important thing to know here is that these snapshots are saved in temporary memory until you press the update button for the production. So that's why the production update button is flashing in red. When I press it, it will then write all the snapshots in all the folders into the active production, which in our case is new show. I now have saved snapshot 2, it's where we've got to at lunchtime here. And we've written that into our setup for new show. That means if somebody else comes in the meantime into the system and wants to check their production file, and let's say they've gone back to the default setup and loaded the default production, that automatically recalls a snapshot as part of that production load. So here we can see Studio One default has reset to the 5.1 default. So I walk in after lunch and I look at the console and I think, where's all my settings gone? How do I get those back? Well, I need to go and reload my show, new show. Load those settings in. The active production updates. And that has automatically loaded the production snapshot. So in this example, it's all I need to do. If I wanted to, then we could go into the snapshots list, find my folder and choose, which particular snapshot is it we want to work on and edit.